All right, so now we have our workspace and we have all these tools. What are we going to do with them? The very top ones here are your selection tools. You have pen tools, text tools, line tools. Uh, there's all a tool for everything here. We're going to start with just the basic shape tool. And if I click and hold down in the bottom corner, you can see I have all these different shapes that I can work with. Let's start with just a good old rectangle. All right, so this rectangle is white with a black stroke. I can also see that it's white with a black stroke up here. I can change the color. I'm going to change the color so it might be a little easier to see on the screen. There we go. Now the stroke size is in points, and as I increase that, you can see that the stroke is increasing to a 9-point on the outside. I have two selection tools. This selection tool will move the entire object. I can make it bigger, smaller. I do have to hold shift on this in order to keep it proportional. And you can see here as I go in, I get this little arc. What this does is this will round the corners. So the more I pull it in there, the more it will round the corners. Now, if I just wanted to round one corner, I would click that little selection piece and move it in. So you can see now that I have a different, I was only brought in one arm of the rectangle. If I ever want to change the color, I can just go back here and change the color and also the stroke. I know that's terrible. You also look over here in the properties, so you can see that I have the properties right here. Fill stroke. The opacity is how much that will show through or how transparent that is. The effects right here, you're going through here, and this is like the text effects we did in Photoshop and Photopea. You can see you have your warp piece here. I don't know what that's going to do with the shape. It warps it all right. There we go. You also see I have the alignments if I have two different shapes, and they're also up here as well. Okay, let's see what it looks like to draw a circle. So again, that's fine. So hold down shift, and if I don't, it's going to make more of an oval size. So shift is there. Now, again, I have that solid piece. Notice there's no selections to move it in. But if I want to select certain points, now everything on here is just a certain, is a line segment. If I want to click here, and again, this is your direct selection. What that allows to do, you can see here's a path, okay, which is a line segment. And this is an anchor point, and I don't know, you probably can't see it, but it is changing. If I click on that anchor point, you can see I have these arms and the handles to move things. So I can change the way that anchor affects the final shape. Command Z to undo. If I click here and just hit delete, you can see that it will delete to the next two anchor points, and I have a half circle. There we go. So now I'm starting to create shapes or different shapes. Yeah. Let me go back to the direct selection and click here, and you can see if I click on the anchor, I can now move this and change this to anywhere I want to go. I can still use that direct selector to curve the piece, and I can even curve it here manually by the size. There's a lot of redundancy in here. Now let's say I wanted to add an anchor point in here and change the shape. I would just go to my pen tool, which is an entirely different beast, but I just click right there and it will add an anchor and then move this out. So what I want you to do is I just want you to go through and kind of play with the shapes a little bit, see what you can make with just a rectangle and a circle.